The studio lights of Jimmy Kimmel Live hung like a constellation of judgmental stars over the Hollywood Boulevard Theater, their harsh glow illuminating the familiar blue couch where A-listers had long traded laughs for late-night lore. But on this sweltering June evening in 2025, the air crackled with an undercurrent of volatility as Michael B. Jordan, the chiseled heartthrob whose Creed franchise had cemented him as Hollywood's golden boy, settled into the seat amid roaring applause from an audience primed for promotion but unwittingly poised for pandemonium. Jimmy Kimmel, the affable everyman with a devilish glint in his eye, bounded onto the stage in his signature suit, his monologue a razor-sharp riff on celebrity scandals and streaming flops that had the crowd in stitches, his eyes twinkling as he introduced the guests, a bubbly pop diva fresh from Coachella, a grizzled comedian with a Netflix special brewing, and finally, the man who's punching above his weight class in every role, Michael B. Jordan. The cheers swelled to a fever pitch, phones aloft capturing the star's wave, his tailored black blazer hugging his frame like a second skin, his smile a masterpiece of megawatt charm honed by years of red carpets and rom-coms. Backstage, Michael's team had prepped for the usual, plugs for his upcoming sci-fi thriller, light banter on boxing and Black Panther legacies, but whispers among the crew hinted at Jimmy's penchant for provocative pivots, his recent jabs at woke warriors in Hollywood still fresh from a viral monologue. The band struck up a funky groove, cameras panned smoothly, and the show launched into its rhythm, Jimmy steering with fluid finesse, starting with the pop star's tour tales before veering to the comedian's crowd work catastrophes, laughter bubbling like overcarbonated soda. When Michael's turn came, Jimmy leaned in with that conspiratorial grin. Michael, Creed IV, another knockout. But tell us, after all these hero roles, ever feel like Hollywood's typecasting you as the token tough guy? Michael chuckled, his response a polished blend of humility and hustle. Nah, man, it's about owning the narrative, flipping scripts that sidelined us too long. The audience nodded, a ripple of approval, but Jimmy's follow-up sharpened, flipping scripts. Bold. Some say it's forcing diversity quotas, turning blockbusters into billboards for Black Lives Matter. Thoughts? The studio hushed, the pop star shifting uncomfortably, as Michael's jaw tightened imperceptibly, defending the evolution. It's not quotas, it's quality, stories that reflect the world, not whitewash it. We've earned our seats at the table. Jimmy, undeterred, his wit turning weaponized, pressed on, earned. Or engineered. Look, I love Black Panther, Wakanda forever, right? But when every studio greenlights, inclusive, remakes, it feels less like progress and more like pandering to the PC police. You cool with being the poster boy for that? The crowd murmured, divided between titters and tension, the comedian attempting a diffusing quip that fell flat, as Michael's eyes flashed with restrained fire, his voice steady but edged, pandering. Try pioneering. I've fought for roles that weren't written for me, broke barriers you joked about from your couch. Don't diminish the grind. Jimmy's laugh boomed, but it rang hollow. Grind. Buddy, you're dating influencers and dodging drafts. Meanwhile, real activists are in the streets. Is this heroism or hype? The exchange escalated, the table a tinderbox of ideologies, the audience leaning forward like voyeurs at a velvet rope brawl, as Michael rose slowly, his frame towering. Hype. This is heart. You mock the movement from your monologue throne, but I live it. Call it what you want, but I'm done feeding your faux folksy fire. The walkout unfolded in stunned slow motion, Michael striding toward the wings amid a gasp that sucked the air from the room, Jimmy ad-libbing a recovery. Well, folks, that's one way to exit stage left, credibly dramatic. The band played awkwardly into commercial, the theater buzzing with shock, phones already dissecting the departure for social media slaughter. Backstage, Michael's publicist enveloped him in hurried hugs, his phone lighting with co-star Sylvester Stallone's text, "Proud of you, kid," stood tall. The green room hummed with hushed hysteria, crew whispering. Kimmel crossed the color line, as Jimmy nursed a water in his office, pondering the punch he hadn't seen coming. By midnight, the clip was a viral volcano, erupting with hashtag Michael walks off Kimmel, memes morphing the stride into GIF gold captioned, "When the hero drops the mic." Headlines hemorrhaged across outlets. TMZ's, Michael B. Jordan storms off Jimmy Kimmel after race row rage. While Variety pondered, Kimmel's clash, comedy or colorism? In the Hollywood Hills, Michael's inner circle debriefed over bourbon, reflecting on the raw nerve touched, vowing to channel the chaos into a production pivot for underrepresented voices, while Jimmy's apology loomed, meant to provoke thought, not pain. Michael's a class act. The clash, live and lacerating, etched into entertainment eternity, a collision of charisma and critique where banter breached boundaries, leaving the couch, and the culture, reeling in its wake, the kickoff not defeat but defiance, a star reclaiming his spotlight one stormy step at a time. Los Angeles neon pulsed indifferently, the city carrying whispers of what-ifs to distant feeds, as the world watched, waiting for the encore in a drama scripted in sweat and spotlights. Dawn's golden haze pierced the smog over Los Angeles like a reluctant apology, the city awakening to the digital deluge from Michael B. Jordan's explosive exit from Jimmy Kimmel Live, the previous night's fiery clash already a trending tempest with over 5 million views on YouTube clips alone, X timelines ablaze with hashtag Kimmel vs Jordan and hashtag Hollywood race rift, fans factionalizing into camps of Kimmel's just joking, and Michael's mic drop moment. 596A4221 Phase 6F in his sleek WeHo condo, Michael stirred to the trill of notifications, his phone a battlefield of support from Black Hollywood, Lupita Nyong'o texting, Warrior walkout, woke the world, Ryan Coogler calling with a podcast pitch, turn this into a doc, bro, the exit interview. Over protein shakes, he debriefed with his manager, voice steady but eyes weary, he baited the bear, I bit back, not regret, but resolve. Their PR word into overdrive, a statement framing the fray as passionate push for parity, while urging Michael to lean into empowerment. It's 2025, representation isn't a punchline. Across town, in Jimmy's Encino enclave, the host woke to a similar storm, his espresso untouched as he scrolled X, wincing at posts branding him tone-deaf uncle at the cookout. His team huddled via Zoom, the producer's voice crackling, Nielsen's up 25%, controversy's currency but backlash brewing. Jimmy nodded, his optimism flickering, pushed too far. Yeah, but that's the gig, let's own it. By noon, he'd taped a radio spot, tone contrite yet cheeky, Michael's fire is fierce, I fanned flames, apologies if it singed. Listeners split, some forgiving the folly, others fuming, Kimmel's comedy card expired on color. Social media seethed, TikTok's timestamping the takedown to trap beats, Reddit rants and our television dubbing it Kimmel's kryptonite, casual racism, countered by our late-night lovers, just banter, Michael overreacted. Michael, channeling the critique into creation, hit the gym for a hit session that sweated out the sting, paparazzi perched like vultures outside. Lunch at Nobu brought bomb, co-stars like Tessa Thompson toasting, you exposed the elephant, now Elephant in the Room gets a sequel. But undercurrents churned. Variety's op-ed, Jordan's justified jolt, when late-night laughs land wrong, while The Hollywood Reporter hashed, Kimmel's history of hot takes, hit or miss. Evening unfolded in echoes. Jimmy's show aired a soft segment on diversity in comedy, inviting a black panelist to unpack the punchline problem, ratings rebounding as viewers tuned for the tea. Michael's IG Live unpacked the uproar, clash. Catalyst, Hollywood's healing starts with hard convos. Views vaulted viral, his Creed IV trailer teasing a 15% uptick in pre-sales, irony's appetizer. Transatlantic ties tugged. Oprah DMing solidarity, your stand echoes my stages, prompting Michael's tweet, grateful for giants who paved, onward. Jimmy's email hovered unanswered, mate, coffee. No cameras. Night deepened, podcasts pondering, princely principles in pop culture, while Michael's journal by Jacuzzi Light reflected, kicked off. Kicked up. Dust settles to diamonds. The media maelstrom mulled, TMZ teasing, secret stern shade, Jordan ditched for drama. Bunk, but buzzworthy, late-night levity lightened, Fallon's falsetto feud skit, Colbert captioning the stride, from Rocky to Rocky Road. X's algorithm amplified extremes. Jordan junkies hashtag stand with MBJ petitions clashing with Kimmel kins, keep calm and Kimmel on, graphics. By week's end, a surprise olive branch bloomed, Jimmy's invite to a charity roast, truce in tights. Michael mulled over mezcal, from faux to funny. The View weighed in with Whoopi, fiery, fertile, growth from grit. In quiet corners, reflections ripened, Jimmy confiding to a diary, wit wounds, wisdom mends, Michael to his mirror, humiliation. Hone it. The clash's cinders smoldered into sparks of synergy, tabloids tiring of the trope for tariffs and trials, but the lore lingered, a legend of luminaries locking horns, where kickoffs clarified callings, and late nights lash-lit lanes to lasting light. As stars wheeled over the sprawl, LA slumbered, but the saga stirred, a script of scars and spotlights scripting sequels in solidarity. Autumn's amber veil draped Los Angeles' palm-lined boulevards as the June scorch of Michael B. Jordan's Jimmy Kimmel Live, kickoff cooled to cultural compost, fertilizing fields of discourse on diversity in dialogue that blossomed across panels and premieres. The fiery clash, now mythologized as Jordan's Jolt, in op-eds and Oscar buzz. D257 AC Michael, ensconced in his production perch overlooking the hills, alchemized the aftermath into archetype, his MBJ Entertainment Summit on Scripts and Shadows, drawing Jimmy-inspired sessions, from clash to collaboration, crowds swelling with storytellers seeking substance, his keynote A Quiet Quake, kicked open doors to deeper drafts. Netflix nodded to a spin-off, Creed of Conviction, Michael directing docs on Hollywood's hidden hurdles, ratings rivaling reboots as viewers binged for the bold. Jimmy, traversing talk show tapings for a fall special, wove the wrangle into witty workshops. Banter's blade, balance it, his hubs hosting hybrid how-tos with Jordan nods, a bridge of begrudging respect. Social spheres shifted. X's hashtag Jordan Kimmel Jamboree trending with mashups of their monologues set to empowerment anthems, while haters hashed it out in echo chambers. One viral vid from June 25 whispering, overheard fighting post-show. The real tea, peddling paparazzi whispers of backstage barbs, Michael allegedly snapping, tone it down, I'm not your trope. Fiction fermented, but fact-checkers fizzled it fast, Deadline debunking with, sources say, all respect off air. Fab 543 Jimmy's show surged in sympathy slots, boundary banter, theme week featuring guests like Trevor Noah, Wit Without Wounds, ratings rivaling Colbert's heyday. September bloomed with collaborations. Michael's Gym line in Jimmy's merch mock-up, a limited, Jolt Juice, flavor, caffeine-infused calm in a can, sales sweeter than Schadenfreude. Hollywood ripples reached renewal. Spike Lee's wellness workshop inviting Kimmel input. No mics, just minds, a bridge buttressed by the Jordan buffer, proving pettiness paved paths. Father's Day brought family footage. Michael mentoring mini-athletes, captioned, sweet on stands, sweeter on siblings, fans feasting on the Phillip. October's Harvest hosted the webinar, virtual viewers in the thousands, Jimmy's, I Got You, metaphorically. Eliciting Michael's mirthful, and I've got the script for second acts. Donations to youth sports soared, the duo dubbed, dynamic of détente, in Vanity Fair profiles. Yet undercurrents churned. Tabloids teasing, secret Sussex shade, Kimmel ditched from Creed cameo. Bunk, but buzzworthy, X erupting in, toxic tea, threads, at Dramadigger retweeting rage, Michael's kickoff confirmed, fiery fallout forever. 3DC8A5 Michael's retort. A podcast pivot. Clashes clarify, gratitude to Jimmy for the grace. November's nip saw them seaside, Jimmy crashing a Jordan jog, jabs over jogs, cameras off, connections cemented in salty sprints. ABC nodded to a spin-off, Couch and Creed, Kimmel and Jordan, pitching cozy convos sans clash. Studio doors creaked wider. Denzel's directorial debut screening to raves, Jimmy front row cheering, post-party powwow plotting more. And in the quiet coda, as leaves turned again, Michael reflected in a journal, that walkout. Catalyst, not catastrophe, turned foe to friend, spotlight to self-light. Jimmy, echoing in emails, you're the real showman, courage over crowns. The script, once scuffed by Showdown, smoothed into saga, paragraphs of possibility penned in partnership. Law's lights twinkled on, the boulevard testifying to tides turned, and somewhere, a director smiled, his legacy laughing last. The end, hardly, just happily, haphazardly, ever after. Spring's brazen bloom unfurled across Los Angeles canyons, jacarandas confettiing the paths where joggers pounded out their dramas, oblivious to the undercurrents still swirling from that June TV tempest months prior. Michael B. Jordan, back for a whirlwind of press for his directorial debut, navigated the streets with a security detail blending into the bustle, his stride purposeful yet shadowed by the lens of legacy. Creed IV had soared post-clash, partnerships pouring in like manna, but whispers followed him, remember that Kimmel kerfuffle. Man's got fire, baristas and valets alike offering unsolicited solidarity over lattes or lots. In a cozy Studio City cafe, fate, or coincidence, conspired at crossroads. Jimmy Kimmel, nursing a latte and laptop, looked up from scripting his next monologue to spy Michael at the counter, ordering flat whites with that disarming grin. Michael, as I live and breathe, or at least caffeinate, Jimmy ventured, rising with a warmth that bridged the gap, his handshake firm, eyes crinkling in genuine delight. Michael paused, surprise melting into mirth. Jimmy, fancy meeting the man who made me a meme legend. Laughter bubbled, drawing glances from patrons who sensed serendipity, phones subtly angling for proof. They claimed a corner table, the cafe's hum a buffer against eavesdroppers, diving into dialogue that danced from diffident to deep. That night, Jimmy started, sincerity supplanting showmanship, I mucked it up proper. The diversity dig, sacred ground, I know. Apologies don't fix, but they're heartfelt. Michael nodded, stirring sugar with thoughtful swirls, accepted ages ago, man. It forced a reckoning, me with my triggers, you with yours. Good came of it, therapy's a game changer. The conversation cascaded. Jimmy sharing tales of his own missteps, the writer's room reckonings post #MeToo, Michael opening up on fatherhood's freedoms, how his nephew's questions pierced pretenses. Kid asks, Uncle Mike, why no superhero cape? Cuts deeper than any critique, Michael confessed, vulnerability a velvet glove over iron resolve. Jimmy leaned in, kids are the real stars, ruling with chaos and charm. Mind love your set, playdate in Atlanta. The offer hung light, but loaded with potential, a thread toward mending broader rifts. Outside, paparazzi circled like sharks scenting chum, but the duo lingered, lost in levity, swapping dad jokes, Jimmy's, why don't actors play chess? Too many checks, eliciting Michael's guffaw that turned heads. As they parted with hugs and numbers exchanged, call anytime, no cue cards, Jimmy insisted, the encounter leaked via blurry snaps, headlines heralding, Kimmel and Jordan, from feud to friendship. Social media sighed in relief, Jordan junkies and Kimmel kin uniting in upvotes. Back in the studio precincts, Spielberg caught wind over salads, a smile cracking his composure. About time the boys buried the banter, dispatching a discreet dinner invite, the first in years without strings. Michael mulled it, consulting his co-star Tessa over encrypted video, her wisdom a compass, go if it feels right, Hollywood's a marathon, not a sprint. The meal, at a quiet Chateau Marmont annex, unfolded with awkward endearments, small talk on sets yielding to gambits on grit, Spielberg admitting, missed you, son, your walkout hit hard, but healed harder. Tears threatened, but toasts tempered them, to futures unfettered by feuds. Jimmy, meanwhile, wove the cafe caper into his show opener, ran into a certain knockout, turns out, we're both suckers for strong coffee and stronger stories. No walkouts this time, cheers cascaded, the bit bookending the blow-up with grace. Michael's press jaunt peaked at a gala, where he kenneded on resilience, quipping, I've stormed off stages and into storms, both teach you to stand taller. The line, laced with Kimmel nod, drew knowing applause, Tessa beaming from the front row, their unity unassailable. Post-gala, a pint with Jimmy materialized, no cameras, just camaraderie in a back alley boozer, tales tumbling till closing time. To walkouts that walk us forward, Jimmy toasted, clinking glasses, Michael's, here, sealing the sentiment. Transatlantic ties tightened. Jimmy guesting on a Jordan podcast, dishing on Dublin delights, Michael popping up in a comedy special cameo, his timing surprisingly sharp, late-night tip, never trust a host with a microphone, or a monologue. Laughter lines etched deeper, collaborations budding, a charity sketch for comic relief, blending banter with benevolence. The world watched, wearied of wars but warmed by this whimsical thaw, tabloids trading trash for triumph, from clash to cash for causes. In Atlanta mornings, Michael's nephew clamored for Uncle Jimmy stories, Michael's retellings a ritual of reconciliation. Studio doors creaked wider, Denzel extending an olive branch over WhatsApp, fancy a fight scene. No mics. The mentors, bond, battered but breathing. Jimmy's memoir, in drafts, dedicated a chapter to the clash, the star who taught me punchlines have hearts. Publishers pre-ordered piles, sensing the sell. As summer simmered, Creed expanded, chapters opening in Ukraine's shadows, Michael's advocacy a global glue. And in quiet moments, over transatlantic calls with old drama school chums, Michael mused, that night. A blip, but it reminded me, vulnerability's my superpower, not my kryptonite. Friends toasted to that, clinking glasses across time zones, the bond of battle-tested banter unbroken. As winter whispered warnings, the world spun on, scandals cycling like seasons, but this one lingered as legend, a star's principled exit, a host's hasty heart, woven into the warp of who they were. Tessa, ever the editor, suggested framing it in the next film, the walkout waltz, dance or dodge. Michael grinned, both, always both. And so, the script evolved, not in studios but in souls, Redemption's rewrite a work in progress, penned in patience and punctuated by progress. The boulevard flowed on, indifferent witness, carrying echoes downstream to wider waters, where waves of what-ifs washed away, leaving shorelines of stronger selves. Jimmy, in a Hollywood theater encore, Dedicated a tale to, a knockout king who taught me timing's everything, applause affirming the arc.